welcome to the Thursday show. Look at that. We've already had somebody comment. Yes, thank you very much to Christy Shields, who's watching all the way over in Melbourne, Derbyshire. It's the same joke every week. Thank you to Christy, and thank you to everybody else who is joining us, all the old regulars, all the young regulars, and to all the people who found us in the Lockdown Comedy Guide. Of course, a big thank you to the people who listed us in the Lockdown Comedy Guide. Yet again, it's the only time I've ever been proud to be on a register. But it's been a crazy week for everyone. Matt Hancock has tried to support British business by telling everyone that he's already booked his holiday to Cornwall, thinking that will increase consumer confidence. I think it's had very much the opposite effect, and apparently people are trying to cancel their holidays at an unprecedented level because they don't want to be anywhere near that worthless sack of skin. So to try and shift focus, he decided to do the biggest shake-up of the NHS for the past decade, which does feel a little bit like trying to rewire a plug while your house slowly floods. See, that would have been funny if I didn't fuck up the punchline. To be honest, it probably wouldn't have been that funny anyway, but you're still getting it. Oh, what's that? There's more material to come. Yes, there is. Matt Hancock says that the biggest shake-up in the NHS is now a better time than any. And I don't agree, because I think he could have done this 18 months ago when we weren't in a pandemic. But he says that actually, you know what? We have an aging population. Like, that's something new. Like 7 years ago, we were a nation of Benjamin Buttons. There we go. That's my top of the show monologue. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know that you are there. We want to know in those comments, just like Christy did. If you are feeling mental and there is a gas leak, then please feel free to share this on whatever platform you have. We're trying to get into double-digit viewers this week, so that would be absolutely wonderful. And while we're there, of course, don't forget that you can donate along the bottom there. This show is free to watch. It's not free to make, so please donate the price of a coffee, and I live in London, and that's about £5 or £10. So we are now going to welcome our first host. I'm very excited for him, the man for whom jaywalking is a family activity, not a weird American bylaw. It's Mr. Jay Sodagar. Which way is it going to be? It's going to be. Which
this way?
Which,
this way? That way? He's going to swap it. He's going to swap it. He's going to swap it.
Is he going to?
He hasn't swapped it. There you go. There
what
you go.
A brick.
Brilliant.
How are you?
I'm very well. I've had a very busy week. I knew it was going to do that. I knew it was going to do it.
Mental.
I've had a very busy week. You know, last week I was talking about conspiracy theories and so on and so forth, right? I've come up with another one about the coronavirus. Right? I've come up with another one, right? Because I researched this. Okay. You know, the graph for the infection rate, like as the infection rate goes up, we go into lockdown, they come back down again, and then it comes back up again. You notice this, right? I figured out that the exact same graph, right, is, there we go. The exact same graph, right, also correlates to the amount of wanking people do, all right? Because as the infection rate goes up and lockdown happens, everyone masturbates a lot more, and then shops open up, and then people don't masturbate, and then suddenly it all starts to rise back up again. So
what?
I reckon,
wait. Where are you masturbating? The shops opening up means that you can't masturbate any longer.
I'm banned from that hairdresser. Now. Not allowed to be there anymore. But as you can see. But I think therefore what I surmise from that is that wanking helps keep the coronavirus away, because when we wank more, the infection rates come down. So henceforth, this is for all the people who are watching the show. Knock one out. All right, seriously, please, just, if it's the remote control you're sitting next to, or have sex with the person sitting next to you, or if not, bash one out. And do it. It's a bit like clap for the NHS on a Thursday. Exactly. Clap for the NHS, but it's the same sound but slightly differently. That's all I'm saying. And on top of that, look, there's a link as well, right? Pfizer, who are doing the vaccine, also sell Viagra. and it's Valentine's Day this week. So henceforth, I reckon, right, with Pfizer selling out like Viagra, and the amount of people having sex or wanking, right, plus them also doing the vaccine, I reckon the numbers will come down by about the middle of next week. I reckon they'll be cured. And so I reckon that's how all of this is gonna play out. But how have you been, Dave?
Mate, I love that. I think that's great. All I've learned really is I'm never going to borrow hair gel from you ever again, because that's why you're not allowed into that. Oh, hello. Great.
Bingo.
That's the
Bingo.
best comment. Great news.
I guarantee you he's not got COVID. Guarantee you. He's not got COVID right now. I guarantee it to you. I think I've cracked it. I think this is what they don't talk about in the 5 o'clock little news briefings. Wanking. This is
that's the theme of this week, is not having COVID. But it's not only me and Jay. You've heard of Vlad the Impaler. Well, it's now time to welcome Vlad, who's much paler because he's Scottish.
Yes, you know.
That's a punchline. That's a punchline.
Punchline.
Good evening. Yeah, good evening. How are we?
All good.
Really
All
good.
Excellent. Yes, this has been an exciting week for me. I've been, as I have been for the last 10 months, looking out my window. But it's now different because we now have snow. So all I have been looking out at is snow, which is fucking exciting. I know.
Was that it?
Well, we do spend a lot of time looking out the window. And in fact, right at the start of lockdown, I looked out my window and I saw the guy over the road washing his car. Right, and then next day, I looked out the window and I saw the guy over the road washing his car. Day after that, looked out the window, guy over the road was washing his car. And this went on right up from like March right through to middle of June, day after day, week after week, month after month. This guy over the road was washing his car. And that just kind of said to me, the lens people will do to get away from the tedium of lockdown, just the utter boredom of every day being the same, was that I was prepared to sit and look out of a window at some other guy washing his car. And that's what's been exciting this week. He can't wash his car because it's covered in snow.
I honestly, I'd give it 5 years before that's the next reality show on ITV. Celebs washing their car.
Celebrity car wash.
Yeah. And they don't have sponges. They just have like litigation sort of court cases that they can use. And I think that'd be great. Johnny Depp would be there. Anybody else we can think of?
That's it.
Katie Price would do it.
Someone who was once in the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
5 of them.
That's a nice idea.
Yep. Top of that, I've booked my summer holiday.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm going away for a day and then spending 2 weeks in a hotel at Edinburgh Airport on my way home.
That's a great joke. Edinburgh doesn't have an airport.
That booking will be honoured. Of course, is a tangential reference to the very swift action of the UK government in bringing in compulsory hotel quarantine 11 months after New Zealand did the same thing. Because they weren't quite sure it would work. And in New Zealand, as we know, you had to quarantine from middle of March, had to quarantine in a hotel for 2 weeks, and it's not gone well for them. They've had 25 people have died of coronavirus in that time. So we thought we'd wait until 100,000 people had died. Well, hang on, we better bring in the same law here. But at least they brought in, right, the 2 weeks compulsory quarantine, right, in a hotel. If you lie about which country you've come from, you potentially go to jail for 10 years. It's suddenly from being ridiculously lax about stuff, they've just gone fucking draconian with nuclear. It kind of reminds me, everyone at school had a teacher that you could just endlessly take the piss out of. Just couldn't control a classroom. And like the whole period would just go, you'd just be fucking messing about. And then finally they'd snap. And that kind of seems that's what the UK government's done now. It's like, right, okay. Let's go for 10 years. Yesterday, you're going to walk through immigration. No. 10 years in jail.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how Vladimir McTavish lost his teaching degree.
Yes. Yes, this whole government policy is called Operation After the Horses Bolted. Good news for me, though. I got a letter in the post. There you go. One of the few advantages of being my age. Yes, I have got my vaccination appointment. And it's next Tuesday. So it's 2 days before next week's show. So next week on this show, I will be able to tell you 48 hours after my vaccination what are the side effects.
Brilliant.
Can we do it live on the show?
What?
Could we do it live on the show?
I would love to do my vaccination live on the show. I could take a camera crew, my phone down to the Leith Community Health Centre if you really want me to, get my vaccination live with a 48-hour delay in case something goes wrong. No, it's going to change my life. I'll be able to report back about what happens now if you lick a toilet door. I'll do all the things I've been wanting to do since the middle of March. Number one, lick a toilet door. That's great news, though. I mean, the vaccination is rolling out right across the country. Of course, it's not been without opposition. I mean, some people are opposed to the whole vaccination process. Not everyone's in favour of it. There are some compelling arguments against vaccination, as we can see from this very well-argued case in our video here from an anti-vaccination campaigner.
People are free to do what they want, but I will fight for my right to not be injected with something I don't trust at all.
Who do you trust around this?
I trust. That's a good question. I trust myself. I'm learning to be self-reliant, and I ask as many people as I possibly can what their opinion is, and then I assemble what sounds reasonable to myself. We're making.
I've changed my mind. I'm not getting it now. He's convinced me.
I swear.
I love the way she said, I'm self-reliant, so I've asked as many people as I possibly can.
Well, I could have sworn at the start of that.
Start women directions in the street. Fucking moron. I mean, if you need to look no further than the side effects of not having the vaccine, she is one of them. But it's quite frightening. Apparently 1 in 4 people, and this was kind of thrown up as being a stunning statistic, 1 in 4 people in the USA will refuse the vaccine. Having said that, given that back in November, 1 in 2 people who voted for Trump, it shouldn't really come as much of a surprise. But people say, oh, well, you know, you don't know what's in the vaccine. But you could say the same about a McDonald's Happy Meal, that they seem fucking happy about eating them. What I do know, and we don't know what the side effects are, people say, well, you know, it could be, look at the measles vaccine. That led to autism in children. No, that didn't lead to autism in children. What causes autism in children is autism in parents. That tends to be the most... I can tell you right now what are the side effects of refusing the vaccine. They are a persistent cough, loss of sense of smell and taste, inability to breathe properly, and death. I'm getting it, and next week I'll be able to report back, and I'll even show you the hole in my arm.
Yes.
Well,
this
there
is
you
it.
go. That's a teaser if ever we were going to get one. I love it. Well, now the time is 8:15, which means that we are going to bring on our first guest. We have got a jam-packed show today. Our first guest is Ben van der Velde. He was the audience warm-up for Deal or No Deal, that Brexit-inspired game show. So, to give you a bit of an idea of what he's like, let's have a look at a video of him in action.
What's your name, madam? Okay, you delegated immediately to this lady. Fair play. Hello, work experience girl. What's your name, madam? Claire. Delighted to meet you, Claire. And what work do you and these other 5 women do? You work in renewable energy. Welcome. You're the same as... Yeah, yay! Guys, if you're going to be at boos over there, I love it. Boo, we've got the coal industry over there. Boo, boo, nuclear power over here. Boo, boo, burning maple syrup over here. Yay! Cool, okay. What renewables? Wave, sun, wind, anger? Lovely stuff. Why are you using your talking to 3-year-olds voice on me? This is why we have a problem with climate change. You turn up to talk to the oil execs, go, now listen, ladies and listen, gentlemen. Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah, all these gentlemen in powerful positions ruining the world. You know, and listen, some women are allies of renewable energy and fighting climate change, and others. I mean, I found out nothing about you, Georgina, other than that you clearly like a man with money and you dress all in black like a terrifying assassin. You've got that. In fact, the more I look at you, like, listen, you make an absolutely beautiful couple, and you'll make loads of lovely little pups. But but with the sort of the sleek black outfit and the ginger hair, you look a little bit like an evil Ginny Weasley. That's what's happened right there. Ginny's gone, oh, fuck off, Harry. You've got too many issues. I'm going to go for someone in Slytherin instead. All the time here, Hufflepuff down the front are going, we need to save the world.
It's a real joy to welcome in the show the marvellous Ben van der Velde.
Hello.
Hey, Ben, how are you doing? Hey, lovely to see you, man. It's great to finally get you on the show. How are things?
So yeah, delight to finally be on the show. And lovely of Dave to say that I was the audience warm-up for Deal or No Deal based on one afternoon spent in the studio.
It's one afternoon spent in the studio. It's a lifetime in your CV, and that's all that matters, isn't it? So yeah,
damn right.
I never knew that about you. You'd been the warm-up for Deal or No Deal. So tell me, did you meet Noel Edmonds?
I did indeed. It was very odd. As you'll know, Mark Olver is the master of audience warm-up, and I managed to butter him up to let me have a go. And I did the first warm-up. It went, if anything, too well. And I got invited up to Noel Edmonds, what I can best describe as an attic-based boudoir.
Right.
And he's a very unusual man.
He's batshit crazy, isn't he?
Yeah, he smells great. But he smells too good. Yep. It's just like the smell that he's decided to marinate himself is masking all of his crimes.
I think it's quite good you met Noel Edmonds and you lived to tell the tale, because not everybody has.
Has he accidentally killed someone on live TV?
Accidentally killed 2 people. Both times in a helicopter.
Jesus, didn't Paul Daniels also accidentally kill someone on television?
He may well have done.
He will have done. It's the 80s. There were a lot of skeletons. and sometimes in closets, sometimes literally on the television.
People in the 80s on television were either paedophiles or they accidentally killed people.
Listen, I think I'd rather accidentally kill someone than accidentally be a paedophile.
Well, you know. How's lockdown treating you? Because I must admit, see, unlike me, your hair suits lockdown.
Well, yes, my hair suits lockdown. I mean, you say that. I was bald when lockdown started, and we've just been here for so long. This is what happens. And my hair only goes curly when I get stressed. No, it's good. I'm someone who can embrace the sort of sophisticated Neanderthal look, and lockdown helps with that. I have been lucky that I have managed to be distracted from the existential dread of lockdown by the 2 small copies of myself and my wife that run our life.
So you've got 2.
I have 2 kids. I started off lockdown with 1 kid and have ended it with 2. And I'd like to point out that is not because of randiness on the part of mine and my wife, because we've been in lockdown for that long, but because, and I do advise any couples about this in the future, if you're thinking of having a baby, do make sure that you take into account the possibility of an unprecedented global pandemic that'll ruin fucking everything.
So they're pretty young, aren't they? How old's the oldest?
So the oldest is 2.5.
Right.
So when we moved house during lockdown as well, because I like to do lockdown on the hardest possible setting. And he's just got to the age where he starts asking uncomfortable questions. So on day 1, when I woke up, I went, "Daddy, what's behind the dark, dark door? Excuse me, the one that goes down, 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 down." It's like, firstly, Fraser, I'm a Geordie, your mum's Scottish. Why are you talking like an Edwardian ghost child? Secondly, I think you're talking about the cellar. It's all that goes like, "No, Daddy, I'm not talking about the cellar. The other door behind my wardrobe where the woman with the nowhere eyes lives." It's like, I'm going to have to kill you. Yeah, like, talking to other parents when we've been at nursery going, "Oh, have you got problems with the terrible twos?" It's like, yeah, I'm going to have to, get a priest out on him.
Yeah, either that or stop giving him acid.
That too, yeah. But it makes him nap for so long.
Yeah, good. So you've not had homeschool. They're too young for that.
Oh, no, I have been homeschooling them. He was on calculus yesterday. My 6-month-old, I've got her on astrophysics and a little bit of light Roman history. It's never too early to start.
And next thing, get them to draw a rainbow.
Do you know what? We haven't done the rainbows in our house because I useless empty gestures that provide no one with any succor. I've instead donated to charity. I know it's very unfashionable and makes me sound like the worst kind of woke libtard snowflake, but constructive action. Gosh, it's unfashionable.
So what charity have you been donating to?
A lot of offshore ones in the Cayman Islands.
Yep.
No, I did. So during the first lockdown, I realised I was sitting on a stack of old pub quiz questions, because I used to do a pub quiz on a Tuesday night in the before times when this dreadful Roald Dahl invented disease wasn't ruining everyone. It is a Roald Dahl disease, by the way. You hug your best mate and your grandma dies. Only that man could come up with it. But so I realised I could do some online pub quizzes. So me, about 15, 20, 30 mates got together on StreamYard on here, I'm showing people behind the curtain here on this platform that we're using. And every week the winner of the quiz would pick a different charity. So we did. Yeah, it was really sweet. We did all of them. All of them. There's no more deprivation in the United Kingdom, thanks to me and my family and friends.
Yeah, well, I've done quite a lot for charity over the last 11 months. I've put quite a lot of money towards a charitable fund for former comedians who have developed serious drink problems during lockdown.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I can come.
Pretty fucking well, I have to say. And I've helped kickstart my local off license.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've definitely kept my local curry house in business.
It's because you do find out things, but I found out about me, right, that I thought I was a social drinker. Turns out I'm not.
Oh, you're an antisocial drinker.
Well, it turns out people were getting in the way. But you've been keeping active, haven't you? I mean, apart from the quiz, you've got your podcast, Worst Foot Forward.
Yeah.
Is that something that started? Was that something you did before, or is it kind of something that started since? Yeah,
that's been going for 4 years now. So it's me and one of my best mates, Vladimir McTavish, who's an actor and a playwright. We decided to set up and it's basically an encyclopedia of heroic failure. So every week we pick a subject. So the world's worst monarch, or the world's worst cook, or the world this week's episode is about the world's worst sausage, which you wouldn't think you can get an hour of material out of, but you can. And we get a guest on, and we each, it's a bit like Room 101, we each nominate our world's worst, and then a winner is picked at the end. And it's it's really delightful. It's quite incredible the kind of guests we've had on. We've had professors of neuroscience, we've had wrestling promoters, burlesque performers, magicians, a sitting MP who let us come to the Houses of Parliament. That was preposterous. So when my pal used to live in Tulip Sadiq's constituency, which is sort of Hampstead Kilburn, she ran him up to say, "Can I count on your vote?" And he went, "Well, you're the best of a bad bunch, but I tell you what, I'll vote for you if you come on our podcast." And amazingly, she called his bluff. So we got to go to Portcullis House, and surrounded by all the machinery of the British parliamentary system. And there were people going, "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm here to petition on the part of the vulnerable and poor." "What are you doing here?" "Oh, I'm here to talk to a Minister of State about war in whatever part of the world." "What are you doing here?" "We're here to talk to the Member of Parliament for Hampstead and Kilburn about handbags for an hour." And yeah, it was great.
Well, what shame it wasn't the world's worst sausage you were talking about.
Well, the world's worst sausage, I can reveal. We did talk about black pudding and white pudding and haggis, although haggis is an absolute fucking treat. But the one that I nominated was the Sausage War of 1939 and 1940 between Russia and Finland, where Russia should have kicked the shit out of the Finns, but the Russian troops were so starving and cold that they smelled some Finnish troops cooking some sausages, went to nick the sausages, and the Finns kicked the shit out of them. But the winner was that.
Yeah, that Sausage War of 1939 kind of got written out of history because it was at the same time.
Yes, indeed.
Why can't we never learn about the Sausage War of 1939? Well, there was something else happening.
There was, wasn't there? Well, there could have been a sausage war, an egg war, a hash brown war, and the baked bean war.
Yeah. The full English breakfast war.
The full English breakfast war. Oh, no, that's just definitely Brexit, isn't it?
So have you actually managed to do any, I mean, apart from stuff like this, have you managed to do any gigs over the last few months? Because you got in touch with me back in, was it in the summer, in the autumn, about us potentially doing some gigs in Scotland in bingo halls.
I did, and then they all got cancelled by by lockdown too. So yeah, I'm lucky. I got to do a couple of gigs in Wandsworth, which if you don't live in London is sort of a nice posh bit by the river. Like absolute happenstance, but there's a place called the Royal Victoria Patriotic Building, which looks like Hogwarts fucked an Oxbridge College, and is normally used for weddings. It's got this beautiful outside quad, but they weren't allowed to have weddings there. But we could host comedy shows there at a quarter capacity. So it was all part of a big theatre and cabaret festival, and I got to put a couple of nights there, which was beautiful. And then I did a number of indoor gigs in September and October that felt increasingly dangerous and immoral. But I did them anyway because our government doesn't like supporting artists.
Well, yeah, in retrospect, I actually flew down to Brighton in October to do Brighton Fringe. And in retrospect, I thought, I shouldn't have done that. Because, I was actually on a plane. In close proximity to other people.
Scots on a plane is a hell of a knockoff.
Yeah.
I'm incredibly jealous of you being in Scotland right now, because my wife's parents live in Scotland, and on several occasions we've been working out whether we can make a break for it, but Nicola keeps closing the fucking borders. And obviously, it'd be delightful to see them, but I just want the sweet, sweet respite of just turning up in a car going, "There's your grandchildren, we're going to a hotel, good day."
That's right. Got a hotel for 2 weeks. Even if you don't have to quarantine, just tell them.
That's such a good point. What I should really do is just turn up at the hotel that's going like, "Hello, I live in the Bahamas, please."
Or just tell the in-laws, yeah, the quarantine restrictions don't apply to children under 5.
Yeah, well,
Bringing all these laws, don't they? So, but 3 people can meet outside, but this doesn't apply to people under the age of 5. Just say that. Just say, yeah, we've got to stay in the hotel for 2 weeks, but the kids can't come.
well, you can make them all up. The rules of lockdown have been more labyrinthine than the rules of Mornington Crescent. It's sort of like you can meet, but there can only be 3.5 people under the age of 12, and everyone has to be standing on one leg during a solar eclipse, and you must all be speaking Dutch. It's just, it's nonsense. I saw that a statistic that the government had altered the laws of lockdown or the rules of lockdown once every 4 days. Which it sort of makes sense when you look at our prime minister and you're like, there's a man with the attention span of a Randy Goldfish. So Randy Goldfish, by the way, an incredible funk producer from the 70s. But that is by the by.
Listen, Ben, it's been an absolute joy having you in the show. We stick around. I mean, you're going to go backstage now, but stick around because we are coming back, as you know, to do some stuff all together. It's been a joy talking to you, mate, and we'll see you in about, a quarter of an hour or so. And let's go back and talk to Dave Chawner. Cheers, Ben.
Hey, there he is. Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Vlad. And for everyone else watching at home, we're looking at Christy, we're looking at Gary, we're looking at Bron, we're looking at everyone that has been commenting. Don't forget, it's not too late to donate. There is the donation. You put the wrong thing, Alex. What are you doing? You make me look like a bloody mug here. You can donate to Christy Shields' comment. But also, you can go on paypal.me/free fest online. But you know what? It's like a smorgasbord of entertainment here. We have had the warm-up act for Deal or No Deal. Now we have the warm-up act for Welwyn Garden City's local car park. It's LJ the Funk. Let's have a quick look at him doing his thing.
Anybody here like a chicken Nando's? Yeah, something more good. Yeah, I like a chicken Nando's. What I don't like, a lot of people, they say they like a chicken Nando's. They actually like an ordinary Nando's. I like a chicken Nando's. I go to Nando's, they say, how hot would you like your chicken? I say, I would like it piping hot. Ooh, chicken. I'm so cheeky in Nando's. I go to Nando's, they say, would you like a bottomless soda? I say no, it'll all fall out. Ooh, cheeky. I'm so cheeky in Nando's. Cheeky Nando's. Cheeky. Cheeky Nando's. I go to Nando's, they say, would you like some olives to start? I say no, I'd like some olives to eat. Ooh, chicken, chicken Nando's. I went to Nando's, there's a sign on the counter. It said, do you have any food allergies? Just ask. I said, do I have any food allergies? Chicken Nando's. The rest of this evening is just me talking about chicken Nando's. If you don't like that, you can leave. Right?
Yay! Most weeks here on the Thursday show, I interview a guest that I really look forward to interviewing. This week, we've got something slightly different. I may do the entire interview in the voice of Mr. LJ the Funk. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Chicken Nando's boy. It's Mr. LJ the Funk.
Hello, Sodagar!
What's up, Mr.
I do not
LJ?
know where I begin and you end. You're looking very much like a Junior LJ.
That is true. That is, I would like to
going
pose
for?
to you. I would like
You
to
look like
pose
you're
to
going
you.
skiing while listening to MC Hammer.
Yeah, that's
it. I love to go skiing while listening to MC
I would like
Hammer.
to pose to you a question, if you would not mind.
I wouldn't mind. No questions today.
Okay, my first question to you, Mr. LJ the Funk, is: do you base your comedy on the voice of Macho Man Randy Savage after he has had an accident?
No, I base my voice on Macho Man Randy Savage after he has won the WWF World Wrestling Federation Championship. However, that is so close to what you said, it's almost as though the answer to your question is yes.
That's what I wrote down on this piece of paper. That's it. This
I'm
is
not
how
convinced
scripted
by
to
your
show it.
accent. You do not sound like an American to me. I may have to impeach your ass.
Well, impeach my ass 3 times. I don't give a shit. The one thing I
impeach your
want to
ass
pose
4
to you,
times.
5 times. We
I
could do
impeach
this
your
all
ass
night.
6 times.
Some of you are watching this interview thinking this is the weirdest interview ever. I just want to say, all I did this for is to try and break LJ the Funk out of character and bring back
If
little
anything, we
facts.
is learning that I'm going to stay in character, but everybody's now in character. We made it my career the interview format.
That is very true. The second question I would like to pose to you is, have you had in what we call the industry a paid gig? You may answer.
I have a paid gig. Well, much like the comedian Jay Sodagar, who is not
He's very
with us
talented.
this week, much like the comedian Jay Sodagar,
Very
no,
talented.
I have not had a paid gig. I did do several gigs with jonglers circa 2002 with the legend that is Jay Sodagar, but 19 years later, I have still not been paid for them. And I do not blame, who can I name drop? I don't know, Julia Chamberlain, for the fact that I have no money. But I do still have no money from the jonglers gigs, and I'm glad they is bankrupt.
Oh, yeah. Amen. That's all I got to say to that. So, LJ, the third question I would like to pose to you, it's coming up to Valentine's Day. How do you say Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day.
That Valentine's Day. That's it.
Valentine's Day.
This is it. This is like we could sick. This is like cage fighting face off. This
is romance. Valentine's Day.
I would like to ask you, what are you doing on Valentine's Day?
I tell you, Jay Sodagar, I tell you, motherfucker, what I'm doing on Valentine's Day. I've been cuddling up with my lady, Mrs. the Funk. We're having some funky times listening to, I don't know if you know Snow Patrol, but we'll listen to Snow Patrol and then have some loving.
You look like the guy from Snow Patrol.
I do. He models himself on me. He used to be a Noel Edmonds tribute act, and it changes tune when it's see the Funk.
Well, have you ever warmed up for any TV show in Alabama?
I did. I warm up for the Alabama version of Deal or No Deal, but in Alabama, it's crocodile or no crocodile. The answer is always crocodile, and you is dead.
I feel I should tune into that on Challenge TV.
Been canceled, motherfucker, because of the sport.
LJ, I have to say, this has been a very weird interview, but I love you, man. I love you. This is how we roll.
I love you too, Sodagar. I wish
love
we
you
could
too.
do this all day, but we can't because we gotta get back to the mediocrity.
That is very, very true. So let's bring back all the other guys and gals on this show. So.
All the motherfuckers is LJ'd up. I never feel so precious.
Yeah.
This
I've
is
got
it.
ears.
Vladimir, you is looking badass. Jimmy Jukop, you is looking badass. Everybody's looking badass.
This is so cool. Hey, let's see the
What's
odd
wrong
one
with
out.
Vanderbilt? Why is he not dressed up? Who stole his shades?
Oh my God! Right, trying to maintain some sort of order. We now move on to one of my favourite segments, which is called Desert Island Dicks. Da 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 da. There we go. There's the penis and the island. So. Desert Island Dicks. This is a quiz that we always play. If you could relegate one person from society, who would it be? I don't think Ben's around anymore, so let's go to LJ. LJ,
Which one? Which one?
Me, I'm the real LJ. Who would I put on a desert island? Well, I'll tell you who I would put on a desert island. It is Sue Lawley, because she spent all those years asking people what you listen to, and I think that's an attitude problem. She should have to fuck off to an Oasis, think about what she done. Who wants to listen to the same 5 songs on an Oasis? Not me. So fuck Sue Lawley. I put Sue Lawley on a desert island. Listen to fucking Oasis and Beethoven, whatever Sue Lawley listened to, because I don't like it. That's all I have to say about that. No, I have more to say about that. No, that's all I have to say about
Sue Lawley hasn't been the presenter for 15 years. I love LJ's acerbic, sharp, elbowed, on point knowledge. That's great. Mate, buy shares in CFAX. It'll take off. So, Ben, the question is, if you could relegate anyone to a desert island, who would it be? Someone that you could get rid of out of society. LJ has gone with Sue Lawley, circa 1954. Who would you go for?
Well, I've thought about this a lot, and inspired by LJ's nostalgic suggestion, I think Dale Winton. And the reason I want to pick Dale Winton is that I'm furious at him for already being dead when he would have been the perfect person to host the COVID briefings, because those briefings need a little bit of glitter and pizzazz. It's just been graph after graph and overhead projection of overhead projection. In fact, I'm talking about overhead projections rather than slides, shows my age. And I just think, we need to turn it, instead of supermarket suite, turn it into coronavirus suite. All the pictures you see of that little coronavirus bug, it's got a little glittery jacket on it anyway. It just needs a bit of Dale's charm. So I'm furious at him for dying when he should have stayed alive and made this pandemic a bit more tolerable.
Oh, that's quite nice in a weird way. Vlad, who would you choose to have the government briefings?
Again, I would probably, talking about people who are dead or pretending to be dead, it would be Jimmy Savile.
Oh,
Who may well not be dead. I think he should have presented the coronavirus briefings. I've got a letter with joined up handwriting. Very nice there. It is from Mr. Matt Hancock. Dear Tim, can you fix it for me to bring 100,000 people back to life and save my job?
Why is Jay Sodagar impersonating as LJ Defunct doing the government briefings now? I don't get this. That's exactly the same accent. Jay, who would it be for you?
My name now is Jay DeFunk. I dropped the L. That's all I'm saying. I got addicted to this voice. I don't even know if I sound like LJ the Funk anymore. Maybe I sound retrospectively. I don't know.
You sound like Christopher Walken.
If he'd had a stroke.
What time is
Christopher
it?
Walken has had a stroke, and I will not hear anything against my poor downtrodden motherfucker, Chris Walken.
Is this the dead zone? Is that what it is? That's because I saw the movie last week. Who else would I put on? I don't know why I'm doing the voice, but who would I put on Desert Island Dicks? It does hurt. It does hurt. Brian Blessed. Fuck it. That guy just shouted his way through my entire childhood. I grew up in the 80s. My parents shouted at me when I was a kid. I switched the TV on. All of a sudden, I was like, "You over there!" I haven't done anything. I've just sat here watched the TV show. So yeah, Brian. I think he's already dead. So I think that might mute the point. But nonetheless, I'm nostalgic.
Brian Blessed is not already dead.
Oh, he's still alive. Well, then fuck him. He can go.
Don't turn this into morbidity bingo. Jesus Christ.
No, also, don't say fucking Brian Blessed could go, because I'll tell you what, the five of us put together couldn't take that man down.
Yeah, that's true. He scared the shit out of me. I'm doing LJ's voice here. He scared the shit out of me when I was a kid. He just I switch it on, Blackadder, he's on there. Oh, let's do this. I was like, fucking hell, I haven't done anything.
I don't know whether he's dead or not, but what I do know is Gordon's alive.
To be honest, I think.
Segue. Well, that brings us nicely on to the final part of the show, which is in no way stolen from a very popular Channel 4 show. It's Mask Tasker! There it is. So, my friends, what this is where every week we give you a challenge based on the mask. Yes, it is a very COVID-approved game. So, this week, we're going to be asking you to use your mask as a blindfold and do a self-portrait. So we're going to be popping those on over your eyes and glasses now. Get your pens at the ready, and this is going to be a self-portrait. On your marks, get set, go. I am already very I think Jay's got a problem with his mask. Jay, it's like it's a little bit it's a little bit not over your eyes. Vlad is looking like a cyclops this week. It looks like someone shot a hole through his head because there's just a black hole where his face should be. Whereas Ben looks like he's absolutely born for this kind of job. I really am liking that. Whereas LJ just looks like he's taking part in a terrorist video. I think that looks like Ben has finished. Again, Jay is doing something very odd with his hands, and Vlad just looks like an OAP who's lost his way. So what we're going to do is we're going to call time, and I am going to ask you to show yourself portraits in no particular order. I'm going to start with LJ. Exceptional work. Look at that. A potato wearing glasses. Next is Jay.
There you go. Look. You see that? There you go.
Fantastic. I've seen that in my nightmares. Vlad, what's yours next? Oh, up a little bit. Oh, that's actually that's very good. That looks like Gary Lineker.
Yeah,
that's very good. And finally, but by no means leastly, let's have a look at Ben van der Velde. Oh, that's is Enoch Powell's River of Blood speech personified. I love that. So if you can hold all of your self-portraits up to the camera, I'm going to judge which one is the best. If it was the most terrifying, I think by far and away, I think that Jay has won. But you know what? I'm going to give it to Vlad this week for a postmodernist, nudo-impressionist. Well
Yeah,
done.
It's either a good drawing or a really bad face mask.
Well, thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you for everyone who has donated. Do not forget, it is not too late to donate. There is the link right at the bottom of your screens. And a huge thank you to our guests. This is your opportunity to plug anything that you might be doing that the audience might want to go and follow. So starting with you, LJ, what are you going to plug for us?
I'm going to plug Jay Sodagar's mother with my dick.
I'm gonna suck you up the ass.
I mean, that was what Ben was going to say, but you put him on the spot now. So, Ben, what would you like to plug, my friends?
Anyone who enjoyed my nonsense can listen to my podcast on Spotify, iTunes, all the places where it goes. It's called Worst Foot Forward. And also, since, we're not going to be able to gig for a few months, if you would like to post a £20 note to me every day until the end of lockdown, I will share my address.
Very nice. I like it. Well, thank you to LJ. Thank you to Ben. Thank you as ever to Vlad and Jay. We have been the Thursday Show. We'll see you same time next week. Have a good one and goodbye.
Bye-bye.